These are not the Olympics of Japan's dreams. I've been to a few of the events, and it is just surreal to see athletes like Simone, Biles, Naomi Osaka competing in these nearly empty stadiums. And now with more than 150 COVID-19 cases in Japan linked to the Olympics, and rival Beijing hosting the Winter Games just 6 months after, a year and a half into the pandemic, it's clear these aren't the Olympics Japan was hoping for. The Games were supposed to be the nation's comeback after decades of economic stagnation and devastation from the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. But COVID-19 derailed those dreams. After spending more than $15 billion for these summer games, Japan is projected to lose billions. With no economic boost from foreign tourists, fans banned from almost every Olympic venue, and a subdued opening ceremony at this national stadium that the country spent more than $1 billion rebuilding. Japan wanted to avoid losing center stage to geopolitical rival China, host of the Winter Olympics just 6 months after.
I absolutely think that the Tokyo Olympics could be a boon for China, especially if they get to contrast a Winter Olympics in which you have a large number of spectators in the stands with a much more quiet, in some cases desultory Japanese Olympics in which there's no one in the stands.
How much of a role does fear of losing face to China, getting upstaged by China, factor into these games going ahead?
If the next Olympics were to be hosted by a country with which Japan had a friendlier relationship, then perhaps Japan canceling the Olympics wouldn't be considered quite as catastrophic.
Beijing could bring an entirely different experience than here in Japan, stands full of spectators without COVID-19 taking center stage. China has claimed its draconian measures helped beat COVID-19 and has administered enough doses to fully vaccinate more than 40% of its population of 1.3 billion people. But the stakes are equally high for Beijing. Its global reputation plunged for its initial handling of the pandemic. In a boost to Japan, some global leaders, including U.S. First Lady Jill Biden, have attended the Tokyo Games. But things might be a bit different in a few months, with calls to boycott the Beijing Olympics and criticism of its authoritarian system only likely to grow. John, Beijing's alleged mass detention of Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities will cast a shadow over the Winter Games, but it still is unclear if Japan is going to be remembered for bringing the world together during the pandemic or for putting people's lives at risk.